it's interesting always to look at other auctioneers and see the use of language, particularly body language, that they're using. I love it when my bidders are in the room because you can really enjoy that rapport with each bidder and really encourage them to go further. Hi Tatler Asia, I'm Georgina Hilton from Christie's Auction House. I've worked at Christie's for 10 years and my role is Head of Classic Art for Christie's Asia, but I'm also an auctioneer.
At 32 million now sold.
Most people are familiar with auctions from the films that feature many scenes of auctions. So today I'm going to be watching some of those scenes and giving a running commentary on exactly what's going on. The first film that we're going to watch is called Uncut Gems, so the title suggests it's going to be a jewellery auction. I love taking the jewellery sales at Christie's. Usually the room is packed. You get many first-time buyers because, of course, everyone loves diamonds.
We move on now, ladies and gentlemen, to lot number 38. Lot 38, we have a sale room notice.
Okay, so the auctioneer has started with a sale room notice. These are specific pieces of information that we need to give the audience because perhaps something has changed since the catalogue has come out or the information has gone onto the website. So the original reserve that was given is no longer accurate. Now he's going to open the bidding for the auction. Let's continue watching.
I'm required to inform you all that this fine Ethiopian black opal is now offered with a revised estimate of 155 to 225,000 US dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a fine piece, a collector's work. It is windowed on either side to reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling colour and the pinfire pattern within.
What an introduction. All things that are going to get the bidders excited about having a go and buying this particular lot.
My colleagues are ready and poised on the phones, and you're all ready with your paddles. We shall start the bidding now at $20,000.
So this auction to me is showing its age. You can see that in this auction you have bidders in the room and you have bidders on the telephone. But what you don't have is bidders coming in online. Christie's Live is now probably the most popular channel for bidders participating in auction today. It means they can be on the move, they can be at home. Often we have global collectors, so they might even be waking up in the middle of the night. So this auctioneer has a much easier job than I have, which is also fielding bids from a screen in front of me, coming from online.
60,000 now against you, sir. 70,000 now against you, sir.
100 grand.
100,000 now. Bid with you, sir.
That is the kind of bidder who auctioneers love having in the room. He's shouted out 100 grand, skipping many increments. And often bidders do this to assert their position and to spook the underbidders and to encourage them to drop out because they're going to go all of the way. Sometimes it works. Let's see if it's worked this time.
In a great place, a big, bold, giant leap. No longer yours, sir. It's against you, sir. I'm going to try one more, sir. I will even break an increment for you, sir. Can I urge you to consider a bid of 105,000, sir?
So the auctioneer has gone back to the underbidder after that, and he's offered to break the increment. So once you get to well beyond the estimate, sometimes the incremental increases can seem quite large sums of money. So the auctioneer can often offer a split increment to ensure that we're keeping the bidding going, but we're doing it at a pace that everyone feels comfortable with. Let's see.
Can we try one more at 170? 170 now. Say 180. Say 180, sir. $180,000 now. Bid back against you, sir. And looking for 190,000. $190,000 is bid.
Having a bidding battle like this in the room is really exciting, and you can tell that the auctioneer is doing everything he can to keep momentum going and to make the bidders feel like trying that extra bid is something which is so easy for them to do. Go on, try one more. Everything about the tone of his voice is making it an appealing thing for them to do.
Last chance, fair warning. It's with you, sir, at $190,000 against the phones, against the rest of the room. Sold to you, sir, at 100.
The scene ending with a ripple of applause, which often happens in an auction when a great price has been made for a great object. So the auctioneer in the auction scene in Uncut Gems has a pretty smooth ride. It's everything that an auctioneer dreams of. I love it when my bidders are in the room because you can really enjoy that rapport with each bidder and really encourage them to go further. Of course, if they're bidding online, it's difficult to get that relationship. And it's interesting always to look at other auctioneers and see the use of language, particularly body language, that they're using to make sure it's the most exciting auction. Now we're going to watch the clip from North by Northwest, which is a very old school movie. Let's have a look.
$1,200. Thank you.
So in this auction, you can see that the art handlers have actually bought in the painting that's being offered, which does often happen in painting sales. I think it makes a real difference for bidders in the room to have the work of art there in front of them.
$2,000. 2,000 is bid. I have 2,000. Do I hear 25? 22.50 once, 22.50 twice. Last call.
1,500.
Well, the bid is already up to 22.50, sir.
So this is a very strange thing. The auctioneer is about to sell the lot, and then somebody in the room shouts out a bid which is below the amount that he's already on. Let's see how he handles this.
1,200.
Sold for 22.50. And now
22.50 for that chromo.
So someone in the auction has started heckling the auctioneer and shouting out that he doesn't believe the artwork is an authentic piece. In this situation, the auctioneer needs to do everything that they can to retain control of the room. As the auctioneer, everyone in the room is looking to you to see how you're going to handle this situation. And remaining authoritative in a situation like this is key. If you lose control of the room, show's over.
12 is bid. I have 12. Go 13. Who'll say 13?
$13.
I mean 1,300, sir.
No, I mean $13. That's more than it's worth.
So this is an auctioneer's worst nightmare, that somebody in the room is just purposefully causing havoc. In all of our auctioneer training at Christie's, this is exactly the kind of scenario that we practice time and time again. Obviously, when an auction is going very well, it's quite easy to auctioneer well. But as soon as something arises that is out of your control, that's when you need to have all of the tools in your locker to make sure that proceedings can carry on smoothly and the rest of the lots in the sale are not going to be compromised by this ordeal. So this guy is clearly causing havoc. He should be removed. We shouldn't accept his bids. And the auctioneer needs to make sure that that can happen in a swift and easy way.
Would the gentleman please cooperate?
The last bid was $1,200. 2,500. My money as good as anybody's. Well, isn't it?
I have... What was it? 1,200.
So in this situation, you can really see the importance of your clerk. So you'll notice when you watch any auction that the clerks sit next to the auctioneer, and they are responsible for being somebody who you can discuss these sort of scenarios with quickly and privately.
1,200 twice.
3,000.
Sold for 1,200.
Now, I'm not going to let you get away with that. That's unfair.
You'd better leave, sir.
No, you take your hands off me or I'll sue you.
Okay, so this auction scene ends in a complete brawl, and I can happily say that this has never happened in an auction that I've been taking, and I don't think it is the kind of thing that would happen today, because every client that bids at Christie's has to go through a registration process, and you also have many colleagues and members of staff in the room who would be there to step in and help before a full brawl was to break out. But it's quite funny to see it happen in this particular sale and see how they deal with it.
There it is, my baby.
Ah, she's a beauty.
Now we're going to watch Sex and the City, the famous scene of Samantha Jones bidding at Christie's, and this is my favourite auction scene in a film. I think this is the reason why all of my friends know a little bit more about what my job is, because they also love this film.
We'd like to start the bidding on this at $10,000, please.
At last, we have a female auctioneer, which is great to see. For an auction like this, part of the preparation is working out how you're going to keep the bidding going at quite a rate, because these sales can go on and on and on. Everyone wants to take home one piece. So let's see how the auctioneer handles that.
At $50,000, $55,000. At $55,000 against you, would you like to say 60? 60 to our colourful bidder at 60,000?
I'd draw the line at 50.
So Samantha obviously decides that she can't bid any further and has to draw the line, and she's sad to do so. And as the auctioneer, you sometimes really feel the sadness of your bidders in the room when they have to drop out, which is why you always give them every extra chance that you can afford to do so, just to see that they're not going to have buyer's remorse or regrets. One of the favourite parts of my job is being involved in training new auctioneers at Christie's. I think it's often really surprising who ends up becoming an auctioneer, and I definitely have surprised myself that my job has ended up being something which is so in the spotlight. It's not necessarily the role for the most confident person or for a thespian type of character.
Sold 11,826,100.
It's a very particular type of person who has the ability to sell, and you don't necessarily know who's that going to be until you see them practicing in the rostrum. It's really about coming to terms with the numbers and the increments and being able to think on your feet and being able to decide what to do in a split second to ensure you don't lose the energy in the room. And it's always very surprising who ends up being the person who we're going to train to become the next Christie's auctioneer.